Hello, today, let's talk about the role of new media in education. I want to challenge a common belief that new media is reducing the global education gap. Many of us see new media tools as solutions that make education accessible for everyone. But is this really the case? Are these tools truly helping to close the gap between developed and developing countries, or could they be widening it? To start, let's quickly define new media. This term includes digital technologies like smartphones, social media, and online learning platforms. These tools enable interactive, customized learning experiences, which, in theory, should be accessible to anyone with a device and internet connection. In developed countries, new media has transformed education, making it more flexible and accessible than ever. For instance, smartphone adoption rates in North America and Europe are around 86% and 82%, respectively, and Singapore alone has over 5.57 million smartphone users, a number that continues to grow. In these economically advanced regions, new media has become a daily part of both life and education. Classrooms are equipped with smart boards, projectors, and even advanced AI tools like ChatGPT. Students in these areas have access to global knowledge and highly interactive learning experiences. However, while these tools enrich learning for students in developed regions, what about the rest of the world? Smartphone availability and usage vary greatly. In sub-Saharan Africa, for example, smartphone penetration only reached 55% in late 2023, a 30% gap compared to North America. And in countries like India and Pakistan, smartphone ownership is around 54% and 40%. Computers are even less common in these places, which limits access to more complex online resources. In Nigeria, for instance, 86.2% of internet traffic is through smartphones, with only 13.3% coming from personal computers. To better understand these obstacles, let's take a closer look at Ethiopia, a country that embodies the challenges developing regions face with new media in education. Known as the political heart of Africa and home to the second largest population on the continent, Ethiopia still has many students facing extreme limitations. Power outages are frequent, and government-mandated internet shutdowns can happen at any time. In rural areas, some students even struggle with access to basic classrooms, making digital education seem like a distant dream. I saw this firsthand during my visit to Ethiopia. A Chinese university wanted to collaborate with our institute on an online activity. However, the first requirement for students to join was a smartphone with a working battery, and many couldn't participate simply because they lacked chargers or their batteries weren't functioning. Even after covering data costs, connectivity issues remained a challenge. Many Ethiopian classrooms don't have projectors, so if we bring one, we also have to bring a projection screen or simply project onto a blank wall. In 2022, a smartboard was still considered advanced technology in Ethiopia's Museum of Science and Technology. Yet, in places like Singapore and China, smartboards have been used in classrooms for over a decade. Furthermore, Ethiopian students face restrictions on advanced AI tools like ChatGPT, tools which are widely used in developed countries. Ethiopia is not alone. In Ghana and Nigeria, universities also struggle with poor internet infrastructure and high data costs. Without stable electricity, reliable internet, or affordable data, students in these regions simply can't access the benefits of digital learning, no matter how promising the tools may seem. These contrasts reveal that new media isn't necessarily bridging the education gap. In fact, it may be widening it. While students in wealthier countries continue to benefit from the latest technology, students in poorer countries are left behind, often unable to access even the most basic digital tools. In places like Ethiopia, where infrastructure is weak and internet access is limited, students miss out on the rich, tech-enhanced learning experiences that new media offers elsewhere. So, is new media really closing the global education gap? Unfortunately, the answer is no, not yet. Although new media holds incredible potential, its uneven distribution is creating deeper educational inequalities. To genuinely close this gap, we must first address foundational issues: improving infrastructure, increasing access to devices, and ensuring that all students, no matter where they live, can benefit from the digital revolution in education.